Okay, so in the last lesson, we introduced the concept of the short form. So we learned how to make different phrases from long form into short form. Today, I'm going to show you some of the things we can actually do with short form now that we've made it. So the first thing that we can do with short form, and probably one of the biggest ones, is that we can speak with informal speech. This is the way that we speak in Japanese when we're talking to our friends, to our family members, maybe some people our age, classmates that we're close to. These are the kind of people we can talk to in informal speech. So we don't use this when we're talking to sensei, or when we're talking to maybe people older than us, or people who we don't know. But we can use it among our friends and family. So when we speak with informal speech, our statements are going to end in the short form. So what that means is whatever word we have at the end of the sentence, it has to be in short form, in the forms that we practiced last week. So tabemasu, for instance. This is a mas form word. To put that in short form, we just want to take the dictionary form. So tabemasu, the dictionary form is just taberu. So if there was a tabemasu at the end of my sentence, I want to change it to taberu instead. Nomimasen. This is a negative. So masen, this is a negative present tense. It's the same as nai form. So if I have a sentence ending in nomimasen, instead I want to end it with nai form. Nomanai. Nomanai. Okii desu is an I adjective. All I have to do to make it short form is get rid of the desu and just have okii. Okiku nai desu is also an I adjective. And once again, all I have to do is get rid of the desu and just have okiku nai. Genki desu. This is a na adjective. So normally when I change it to short form, I say genki da. But when we're speaking in informal speech, we actually don't really like to have da at the end of a sentence. Da at the end of a sentence is like really strong, really declarative. I am Genki. It's a little bit too strong for most conversations. So I want to just drop this da entirely and just end with Genki. Genki janai desu. This is another case where all I have to do is drop the desu. And gakusei desu. Once again, normally when I put it into short form, it would turn into gakusei da. But da is a little bit strong for conversation, having a sentence end in da. So we're just going to drop it and just say gakusei. So pretty much, we just changed the sentence. We just changed the end of the sentence to short form. If there's a da, we get rid of it. The other thing we have to do is get rid of ka when we ask questions. Again, having ka at the end of our sentence in the short form can come off as a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit rough. So we don't usually like to have ka. Instead, we just drop it, and in order to make it clear that we're asking a question, we have to make our voice have like a questioning sound. We have to have like a rising intonation in our voice. So instead of asking genki desu ka, we can ask genki. Genki. So your intonation goes up because you're asking a question. We ask questions the same way in English, right? We have that rising intonation. How are you? In the same way in Japanese, genki, we ask with a rising intonation. One thing you have to remember is not to drop this rising intonation. Make sure that you actually do have like a questioning tone in your voice when you ask questions in informal speech. Because if you just say genki without any change in your tone, I actually don't know if you're asking me a question or if you're just saying that you're Genki. So that's why you have to have that rising intonation. Genki. One more thing about informal speech. So when we answer yes or no up till now, we've used hai and iie. But these sound a little bit formal, a little bit too formal when you're speaking in casual speech. Even in English, you probably pretty rarely say yes when you're answering a question in like a casual conversation, right? So instead of hai or iie, in Japanese we use and and These are it might be a little bit hard for you just looking at the hiragana to distinguish between the one for yes and the one for no. So the one for yes is just kind of a grunt. It's just The one for no, one of the ways that helps me to pronounce it is to remember, so in English, when you say I don't know really fast and you're kind of slurring your words, you say it's the same kind of melody on the same kind of melody. So we use this and only when we're speaking, or maybe we might use it in a text message to our close friends. So the point is, you don't want to use these in like an email to sensei or in an essay. That sounds strange. So we only use these when we're having a casual conversation. So I might ask somebody, 雨が好きですか? はい、好きです. Or いいえ、好きじゃないです. In the regular speech that we have studied up to this point. But if I was speaking in informal speech, I could just say, 雨が好き? And you could answer with, 好き. Or, 好きじゃない. Either way. Let's practice a couple of informal speech sentences. So if I have 今日勉強しますか? How do I want to change the ending to make it informal speech? So 今日勉強する? 今日勉強する? We could answer with 勉強する or 勉強しない. How about 今日友達に会いますか? To change the ending, we just change 会いますか to 会う? 今日友達に会う? If I want to say I will meet them, then I can say 会う. If I want to say I won't meet them, 会わない. いいですか? So this is how we can ask questions and answer them in informal speech. So let's do a little practice with the questions below using informal speech.